on, everybody out there? This is Popular Stranger, and we are back at you again today with another Madden 24 Ultimate Team video. In today's video, we got predictions for Week 10 of Team of the Week, which will be coming to MUT 24 tomorrow afternoon. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, if you like it, if it helps you out, make sure to go ahead and click that thumbs up button. Shows a lot of support on the channel, helps the videos get noticed. Also, if you're brand new here, you're searching on YouTube for MUT 24 content, whether it's how to make coins, how to get free players, how to build your Ultimate Team, you found the right channel for everything. Stay a while, click that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on as well so you guys are alerted when we drop additional videos. Let's get right on into it. So we got predictions for you down below in the comment section. Leave your guesses on who you think's going to get a card for Team of the Week, week number 10. Real quick, just want to go over the format because I do believe this will be the last week of 91 OVRs for Team of the Week. We saw the 91s with AKAs yesterday, but on Thursday, the Harvest promo is going to be dropping. We're actually going to get reveals for the Harvest promo later tonight before the MCS event kicks off, where you can earn that free Tariq Woolen, and we crown a new Madden belt winner. So make sure you're tuned into that. Make sure your account is all set up for Twitch drop so you can get this free 90 overall Tariq Woolen. And then again, Harvest promo Thursday, reveals tonight. I think Harvest start at 92s. So with the Team of the Week cards, they should be 91s. We're going to get an offensive and defensive champion, and then 2 LTDs, one on each side of the ball. One of those LTDs will likely be a current day player who had a good Week 10 performance in a prior year, and we will put those guesses in our video as well. So for the 91s, for the most part, you can kind of pre-build them. You need 4 88s from that specific week, so you're going to need 4 88s from Week 10. You can't pre-build those, but you can get the 84s because the 84s are from any week, so it can be last week or a prior Team of the Week drop. And then, of course, along with the 91 OVR champions, we will have 88 heroes, and I think, 84s and 82s as far as the lower OVR cards go. Let's get into our predictions. We're going to start at quarterback, and unfortunately, we got to put a Cowboy in here, but he deserves it. Dak had a really good game. He had 26 completions, actually 27 if you want to count the dot that he threw to the Giants player, with 404 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. A lot of people think he's going to get a Harvest card. I could certainly see that happening. So if he doesn't get a Team of the Week card, it's because they had him slated for a future content drop, with Dallas always playing on Thanksgiving and them usually getting at least one player for the Harvest promo. It's super likely. The other quarterback that we could see in a losing effort was Justin Herbert. He had a really good game against the Lions, 323 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. I mentioned this in a tweet yesterday. I really do think when it comes down to the Season 3 Field Pass, we're going to see a quarterback, and that quarterback is going to be one of the following players. Either Justin Herbert, we got Dak could be a potential option, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, or Jalen Hurts. 5 really big name quarterbacks who are having solid seasons this year who have yet to receive an upgrade. So we'll see what happens, but that was kind of another reason why I threw Justin Herbert in there, because he is certainly due for an upgrade. Now, when it comes to running backs, a lot of really good performances, a lot of players who have low overall cards who could definitely use an upgrade. The first one being Devin Singletary for the Houston Texans. He had 150 rushing yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. We've had so many running backs come out over the last couple weeks. So does he get a card? Likely. Does he get a 91 OVR? I'm going to go ahead and say unlikely, but we shall see. And then we have David Montgomery. Totally messed that one up. David Montgomery, who already received a Team of the Week card earlier in the year, he comes back from injury. What does he do? 116 yards and 1 touchdown. He had a really big run. I think it was like 70 yards. I went against him in fantasy this week. Luckily, still pulled off the W, but Montgomery with a big yardage game and another touchdown. And then Bijan Robinson, I'm not going to lie, I threw his name in the mix because he's a player that a lot of you want to see upgraded, and he's somewhat of a big name in the NFL right now. 95 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. He had 11 yards receiving as well. Does this card happen? Probably not, but I think he was worth some consideration throwing his name in the mix. So those are the 3 running backs that I have. Notice we haven't mentioned an Angry Runs player. We're going to get to that in a moment. Let's talk about receivers. Brandon Cooks. I feel like if Dak gets the card, then Cooks will not. If Dak doesn't get a card, then Cooks might do it. Remember, he does have this ultimate kickoff card, which can get upgraded up to, I think, an 86 or an 87 OVR. But in Week 10 this week, this year, I should say, he had 9 catches for 173 yards and 1 touchdown. And then then his former, well, not his teammate, right, but the guy who he kind of replaced in a sense, Texans legend Noah Brown, back-to-back weeks, really good. He didn't get a card last week. He didn't get a touchdown this week, but he did have 7 catches for $172. So does Noah Brown get that deserved upgrade after back-to-back really good weeks? I think he should. And then the third receiver or pass catcher is a tight end, and it's TJ Hawkinson. Now, I feel like this should almost be a lock to get a card, but I'm going to explain why in a moment, why he might not. So TJ Hawkinson, 11 catches, 134 yards, and 1 touchdown. He needs an upgrade. He still just has the core elite out there. But the Angry Runs Player of the Week, despite having an 88 OVR that just came out last week, is David Njoku. So if you missed it on Good Morning Football, this is the player that they selected. Now, EA could change up the script and give it to somebody else, but he's the winner of Angry Runs, so he should get a card, and it would be a 91 OVR tight end, which means TJ Hawkinson could get shafted because of that. Now, they may have already built out the TJ Hawkinson card because they saw he had a really good performance on Sunday. It's hard to tell with these things, but there's one other tight end that we're going to have in our predictions towards the end of the video that could also make things even more complicated. Switching over to defense, no clear-cut great performances. We got Sheldon Rankins, who has a core gold card right now, another Texans player. He had probably the best performance, 3 sacks and 1 forced fumble. Not amazing, but pretty good. I mean, 3 sacks in 1 game is very good. And then the next one is the one I would like to see happen. Unfortunately, it was in a losing effort. Now, just because your team loses doesn't mean you're exempt from being able to get a Team of the Week card. But Kyle Hamilton, 8 total tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 touchdown. And I would love to see this card because look at the physical attributes. He's 6'4". He would likely have really good speed. I mean, this is a core elite card here, so he's due for an upgrade. He would also likely have a good combination of man and zone. You see with the core elite, 82 man, 82 zone. So if we project a 91 OVR card, we're probably looking at 90 man, 90 zone, maybe even better. Good speed, good height. He would be the ultimate user. He's got 82 hit power, so that would go up as well. Whenever Kyle Hamilton gets an upgrade, it's going to be one of the best cards in the game. Greg Newsome, who I thought had another card aside from this core gold card. I guess I missed out on it. He had a half a sack, but he also had an interception, and he returned that interception for a touchdown, which was huge in that comeback for the Browns against the Ravens. 6 foot even cornerback, so maybe if he's the 91 OVR card, it could be a fairly usable card, but we've gotten a lot of really good corners over the last week or so, and of course we got that free Tariq Woolen coming later tonight. I'm not going to be able to pronounce my homie's name right here. I'm just going to call him Deo. I'm sorry, but I'm terrible at names, especially when they're hard to pronounce. I can't even pronounce easy names, but this homie for the Colts here, he had 3 sacks. That's it. He probably had a couple tackles as well, but 3 sacks in 1 game again, with Sheldon Rankins being in the mix. He should be as well. And then his teammate, also Syracuse legend, Zaire Franklin, who needs an upgrade. I know he's got this 82 overall Team of the Week card, but week in and week out, he's up there in tackles. He might even lead the NFL in tackles. He had 15 total tackles in week number 10. With a forced fumble, wearing the 44, repping Syracuse. I want to see him get an upgrade so I can put him on my team. Let's talk about LTDs now, because we have one player who's going to get a game card based off of a performance in this week's Week 10, or this year's Week 10. But we're also going to have players who had a good Week 10 performance in a prior year, and here they are. We start with Patrick Mahomes, which is probably not going to happen if we're being honest here, but we're going to throw his name in the mix because he's another one of those quarterbacks, as we said earlier, that should get an upgrade. Back in 2022, just a year ago, he had 331 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Also, I had Jimmy Ward on my list for 2021 until I remembered he got an 88 overall card last week with Division Dynasty. Then we have Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, who's I'm pretty sure out for the season, right? So it is going to be tough for him to get an upgrade based off of performance, and the Giants were absolutely dreadful all year, and I didn't think it was going to get any better for them. them. But back in 2019, 308 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. I didn't look to see how many rushing yards he had that game as well, but he normally has a solid amount and maybe even a rushing TD. But the passing yards alone with the 4 passing touchdowns, good enough and team of the week worthy. This is the one that I think happens, and I hope it happens because it's another, solid MUT item, and it's Jamal Adams, who still has just his 83 overall core elite. Back in 2019, he filled up the stat sheet. He had 8 total tackles, 2 sacks, 1 pass defended, and 2 forced fumbles. If he gets a card, 6'1", it should have good speed, good hit power, probably 90+ zone with like high 80s man. And again, we've seen so many safeties. If we get Kyle Hamilton, Jamal Adams might not happen, but they also could have planned for this Jamal Adams, and that could be a reason why Kyle Hamilton doesn't get a card for this week's performance. And then we close out, and I told you guys, for all of you that like to cry and complain about me putting Eagles players in my predictions, I'm going to give you a second, go grab some tissues, start wiping up those tears, because Zach Ertz in 2018, 14 catches, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And remember, I said that could make things complicated with the David Njoku card and the potential TJ Hawkinson. Here we have another tight end with a really good performance. I think he got a card from Team of the Week last year based off of this performance, and we've seen EA repeat it. I mean, they gave Shaq Barrett the same card 3 years in a row for the same week, including this year, so it could happen again. But those are my predictions for Team of the Week in week number 10. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Popular Stranger. I'm out. Peace.